While some strong arguments are for or against privatization of ECG, other proposals are in favor of the move to make ECG partially private. Regardless of these sentiments, President John Mahama has expressed his resolve to privatize ECG with backing from some agencies within the energy sector. A report by Ikuya Ofuruwa-Daku.
The Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, is set to be one of Ghana's struggling state-owned entities. On the backdrop of this, President John Mahama hinted that privatizing the ECG will help improve power distribution. Also, during the vetting of the Energy Minister-designate John Jinapo, he made it known that a 7-member committee will be instituted to spearhead a possible privatization of ECG. What do Ghanaians think?
As a receiving end, I buy electricity, they put it off and on. If I have any other option, I will go for that option and leave ECG. Because basically, they are not doing what they're supposed to do. And the customer at the end of the receiving end are suffering. See, I can give you instant right now. 3 days ago, I bought power. Today, immediately I said, oh, I'm coming to do something, or the light is off. I came here looking for explanation. Nobody is giving me explanation.
Again, because you think ECG does not have any competitor, that is why they don't do as expected.
Oh, yes, of course. If they have any competitor, everybody will be running to the other side, leaving ECG, because they are not efficient. They are not running the company as it should be.
I truly don't believe in privatizing some of these major major things that I think the government need to hold on to. Something like water, electricity. I don't think privatizing it will really help. The government need to have control over it and then do it best to make sure that we have it. The generation and everything should be on point.
I don't think ECG should be privatized. I have a lot of confidence in the capacity and the ability of the Ghanaian to be able to manage any state enterprise. You have a lot of Ghanaians outside who are strategic consultants for a lot of countries outside this country, and I don't think we don't have the men to do it. It's about attitude.
It should be maintained as a state-owned entity.
Why? Why saying that?
Because how I see things, we have a new government now. We have to see whether there must be a change in the electricity tariffs or something before we can do anything else about it.
Pressing issues faced by ECG, including financial losses and inefficiencies, have necessitated plans by the government to privatize the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG. According to the Executive Director of ACEP, Ben Boache, ECG's performance has retrogressed over time.
If you check the indicators and the numbers, it clearly shows that ECG has been underperforming year on year, and the data is clear on that. And how we deal with that has always been our concern. And you look at how the inefficiencies manifest. It's a simple matter of not being able to sell power and collect the revenues.
The former boss of ECG, Samuel Dubik Mahama, says he is optimistic about the successful operations of ECG if it becomes an independent power distributor.
I asked KPMG to do an audit both of the upstream and then the system losses of ECG. The upstream had its own, dynamics that it brought out, which now shows that it's very prominent that we need an independent power operator, an independent market operator totally. Because when you have this amount of, generation in your system, and you don't have someone who sits in between to call to make sure that the power is distributed right, or the right amount of power is sent to certain areas, then there's some inequality that would come into the game.
To privatize ECG or not, time will tell, as the new government is working steadily to possibly privatize the state-owned power distributor. Ikuya Ofuruwa-Daku, TV3 News, Accra.